So we are here at Hale Centre Theatre, and tonight we're seeing Hunchback.
Hunchback. You know, this is based off the Disney film, and I've never seen it.
Confessions time. So this is going to be showing off Hale Centre Theatre's brand new theater.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with this show, with this fancy stage, so.
Yeah, we'll see what it's like.
Yeah.
Show off with some of the new theater now. So as you can see, a pretty cool theater here. Not only is it great in the lobby here and showing off really the style and this unique design, but it's one of a kind. This is one of the only theaters like this in the entire world. Pretty neat to have it nestled here in Utah. This is the second show that they've had here in this theater, in the large theater. First Aida and now the Hunchback show. So what do you think?
You know, I'm excited to see what they do with it and see how the technology amplifies the story. So let's check it out.
Let's head in.
Made it here to our seats at Hale Centre Theatre. These bells are amazing in here.
Showing off the tech early in this one, pretty cool. So chatted with a few people here at Hale, and there's a chance we'll get to go backstage when we're done and maybe see some of the tech that made this show. So stay tuned, here we go. So we might be in the pit at Hale Centre Theatre in the brand new theater. Just finished seeing the show. First impressions of the show is just blown away from it. This stage is never going to stop being cool. What do you think?
I thought the vocals and the ensemble, when they all sang together, it was beautiful, and the set was just, it overwhelms you.
We got to get out of here, so more to come later. Yes. Pit crew by night, star by day. All right, we are
going up
in the pit here in the brand new Hale Centre Theatre, and we are going up.
All right, can we go all the way? That's really wow. We lost my family.
Yep.
Okay, so we just got home from the show, and we actually somehow talked the crew into letting us go onto the stage and see the way some of the magic works.
I batted my eyes at him. I was like, please.
He was like a kid in a candy store, I gotta lie.
No, I was.
It was really cool. But what did you think of the show?
So we're gonna kick it off and do our 3 good and 1 bad. My first good one was the theater all together. It was just wonderful. I love this new theater, but the staging that they bring in with this new theater. If you haven't had a chance to go check it out, I mean, it is one of a kind. You know, with the push of a button, the entire theater transforms and you're taken to another world or another place. And so there's just endless possibilities with this theater. And like Lee said, we got to tour it a little bit, and I was just like the stage crew that was helping us out just kind of watched me, and they were like, what's his problem? He's weird. But no, I mean, I could hang out there all day, and I don't think it would ever get old for me. It's such a cool theater with so much potential.
So my number 1 was Captain Phoebus.
The Phoebes. The Phoebes.
So we have seen Preston Yates in a few different places. He was the Phantom at BYU and Phantom of the Opera, and his voice makes me melt. Sorry, Bobby.
Gosh, Phoebes, why you gotta do me like that?
He was Javert in Les Mis. His voice is just beautiful. So, you know, he actually teaches voice lessons, so maybe you should take some.
Phoebus, you down? I'm in. Let's do this. For me, my number 2 was for sure the lighting. I talked about the staging a bunch, but the lighting is what really kind of transforms you. Along with the lighting, they have these large video screens that just surround the entire theater. We've been to Aida, we've seen a couple of things with the screens, and for this one it was really subtle. In fact, a vast majority of the first part of the show doesn't even have the screens in it at all. But they ended up using it in very subtle ways. I mean, you're transported from both sides of this, you know, culture in Paris, and the lighting cues really transform you and take you down that path.
So my second was the chorals. When the whole ensemble was together on stage, and they actually were all together, it sounded beautiful. Now part of that was a little bit negative too. There were several parts throughout the show tonight that the vocalists weren't coming in at the same time, so that caused some problems for me to listen to that.
Sure.
But when they were on point, it was beautiful, and I think the music that was written for the show is just gorgeous.
I mean, altogether, this is really difficult music for
Yeah.
them. A lot of it is in Latin, a lot of it is really technical in the way it's sung through. So, for me, my my third one, She's in Love with the Phoebes, I'm in Love with Quasimodo. No, for me, my third one was Quasimodo. I'm a terrible person because I don't know the actor's name. What's his name? Let's look it up.
Let's look at the playbill. That helps.
Where is it at?
It was probably on the first page.
Are you on the first page, Quasimodo?
I don't know. Sorry,
Where are
guys.
you, Quasi?
He is right over
Right here.
there. Yeah. James.
Sorry, James.
Sorry,
We're going to
James.
ruin your last
You
name.
did great.
You were wonderful, James. Anyway, back to the Quasimodo was great. Not only was he wonderful in character, but down to the tics of the character and the way that he sung his songs and just kind of really opened things up. It was amazing for me that he was able to stay in character and just have this full voice. And I'm not sure what his voice is like in real life, but it just seemed like he had fully committed and kind of put his voice into this and really sung the character the way it should be. So really, really great with the character. Just didn't stop with sticking to it.
So my number 3, and I had to cheat as well, but I could pronounce her name. I loved Esmeralda. I thought her vocals were beautiful, and her name is Rebecca Burrows. Rebecca, I thought you did great. And
Rebecca.
One thing about Bobby might have a little crush on you.
You look like Lizzie McGuire from the Lizzie McGuire movie, or when she turns into Isabella. I don't really know. Don't judge me.
Anyways, Rebecca, when she was acting as Esmeralda, there's a lot of great dancing because she's a gypsy, and so she did a lot of really neat dancing, and she was so elegant at, it's really interesting when you have a dancer next to a non-dancer, and you could really tell just by their arms, and she was so elegant, and it was actually really beautiful to watch her dance on stage.
I always struggle with the bad, but for me, I spoke about the theater, I spoke about the lighting, and for me, the only bad thing about this show was, it's not necessarily my favorite kind of show in the first place, but I stuck with it and I loved what they did with it. But for me, there were really glaring times when the set was elaborate and it came to life and it was so neat, and then there was an effect or a transition or something like that just seemed really basic, that stood out with like a sore thumb. One of the examples is the first time they introduced the idea of the magic when they throw their hand down that they're supposed to kind of disappear in a cloud of smoke or whatever, and I don't know if it was the lighting cue that was off or whatever, if I just expected the cloud of smoke or what it was, but there was just this really stark contrast between this really elaborate, wonderful, thought through set and this really basic, or maybe it's not basic, it seems basic stage effect that didn't happen, and it kind of took me out of the magic for a second.
Yeah, you definitely expected a little more on that end.
That's something I think we'll see progress with Hale. I think they're this wonderful theater company that's done so much, but I think that we'll really see them bring this stage to life and really tap into its full potential as they continue to do shows in it. But
this is the second musical they've done on the stage, so maybe they're getting used to it a little bit.
Still, yeah.
So my negatives, honestly, I just didn't really like the story. I said before, I've never seen the movie. The story just didn't really resonate that well with me. I felt like some of the parts were just a little kind of dark, and it's not that I don't like a dark story, but it's
dark in a strange way.
It is, it really is, and it's hard to describe, but I didn't walk out thinking I want to go see that again, and I didn't walk out with a song in my head. It was one of those shows that honestly I felt was a little forgettable. There were some very unforgettable performances from the individual people in the show, but I thought the show really, frankly, was a little unforgettable.
That being said, it's really well done and it's really elaborate and it's really like even just from the way that they sing and the vocals and that kind of thing. But it's definitely not my style of show, not my thing for sure. But I'm really glad that we got to see it. I'm really glad that we got to see them stage it and kind of bring it to life this way. I don't think many stages and many theaters across the country could pull that off the way that Hale did.
We actually took my parents to the show as a Christmas gift, and afterwards we were talking to them and they said just to go and see the set and the way that it was staged was just amazing to them, and so that alone is reason to go buy a ticket to the show.
Definitely, it's a straight up spectacle. Whether you like the show, whether you like the music or not, it is visually stunning.
Yeah.
So awesome. I think this is episode number 4.
Yeah.
Wrapping it up. We've got a couple of fun things in the works. We have a kind of a surprise opportunity to go rub shoulders with Pasek and Paul of
La La Land,
Greatest Showman, and I mean, we can't forget
Dear Evan Hansen.
Dear Evan Hansen as well. So we've got a chance to go rub shoulders with them. We'll see kind of what comes of that on Monday, and we'll see kind of what opportunities we get. But we're gonna go chat with them, hopefully, maybe get an interview and kind of get a little mindset, or excuse me, get a little window into their world and kind of how things are going for them. And then next week we've got Sound of Music at Eccles as well. So a couple things coming up with that. We're just getting these things off the ground and really kind of chasing these shows and this story. So if you like this, go ahead and drop a like and or subscribe. More shows to come, and we'll definitely keep you updated on what's going on with theater here in Utah, as well as we've got a couple of really fun trips in the works too to get to see some shows in other states as well.
Yeah, so stay tuned. Okay.
Preston to Phoebes.
Oh, Phoebes.
Phoebes, he's so hot right now. He's right next to Lizzie McGuire. Phoebes and Lizzie. We're officially nerdy.